Hello, and thank you for stopping by my channel. My name is Jessica Platt, and I'm going to teach you about the violin today. This is the first lesson on how to play the violin, and this entire lesson is just learning the vocabulary you need to know first before you learn how to hold the instrument and then how to play it. So, let's jump in. This is my violin, and we're going to start with the parts starting from the top down. I'm going to refer to the vocabulary listed in the Essential Elements book because I think it's the most widely used book. Doesn't mean it's the best. It is really good. It's also very self-explanatory. I have a lot of different other books as well, but this one I know it's widely used, and so that's why I'm going to use the words that they use here. So let's get started. From top down, this is the scroll. These are the pegs. There are 4 black pegs. This is the peg box. Right here is the nut. Right here is the neck of the violin. And you put your fingers on the fingerboard. So the fingerboard goes all the way up to here. These are the strings. You don't need to know the names yet. I'll teach that next class, but if you already do, G, D, A, E. Going further down, this is the bridge. Below the bridge, you will most likely have 4 fine tuners, and when you learn to tune, this is where you'll tune. Don't try to first tune the violin from these pegs up here. Bad idea. Very bad idea. So anyways, these are the fine tuners, and they are on top of the tailpiece. You can try to remember the tailpiece like a tail of an animal, tail of a dog, a cat. All right, and further down is where we put our chin. So we call it the chin rest. We rest our chin there. You have the end button. The sound comes out right here, and these are the F holes. In Essential Elements, this is considered the upper bout, and this is the C bout. Some people refer to these as shoulders, all right, and some people refer to these as ribs. And you've got the front and the back of the violin. I don't think I forgot anything, but if I did, let me know, okay? I think for your first lesson, learning those words is quite important. I'm gonna go right now onto the bow, and we're gonna come back and review this. So reviewing is huge. You can do this with me again, or I also am going to include a sheet. You can just handwrite. I think it's really important to handwrite the names, and I'm gonna make sure that I spell them out for you so that you know how to spell them too, because they're not in English. I mean, generally, a lot of the words that we learn in music didn't come from the English language. All right, here's my bow. Before you even touch a bow, you should know that this white part, which is horsehair, we never touch with our hands. Like, never, ever, ever touch, because you'll end up having to get a rehair before you even learn how to play yet. So anyways, here's the tip, right up here, the stick, the hair that we're never gonna touch. And in Essential Elements, this is called the winding. This is the frog. My frog happens to have an eye, so it's helpful for me to remember that it's the name of some sort of animal that has an eye. So it's a frog. And then this is the screw. And in Essential Elements, they call it the adjusting screw, because it really does change the hair. It tightens and loosens the hair. For right now, you're not gonna learn that. I'll go into that the next lesson. These are just the parts. And if you can remember half of these today, you're doing great. That's already a lot of words for you to know. So I'm gonna let you test yourself. I'm gonna go down the parts again and give you a little time to remember what I said. So this part right here, can you remember what this is? And if you have an instrument, you might want to be looking at it or the sheet that I'm including that you can download. So this was the scroll. These 4 black things coming out. Again, in essential elements, they're called pegs. Okay, what's in here? It uses the word, half of the word we just did. So it's called the peg box, okay? Right here. That's the nut, okay? And then I'm giving it away. What's this? The neck. I'm sort of giving this away. The finger board. That's called the bridge. And if you go further down, again, you probably have 4 of these, and yours might be silver. A lot of times the color is silver, mine is gold. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes they're black, if they're really connected, okay? So these, again, what are these? Fine tuners. So when you learn to tune, you'll start here. All right, what is this? If you have some sort of animal, I'm giving a hint, the tail piece. Chin rest. I don't know how to give you any sort of help with this one. The end button. And the sound comes out right here. If you know cursive, sometimes that helps, but it doesn't, I don't know that that helps. So they're called the F holes. And that's again where the sound comes out. And in Essential Elements, the book, these have one name. But if you have a teacher at school or you're studying with somebody privately, a lot of times, instead of calling these the upper bout, they might call it the shoulder. Okay, what is this again? The C bout. That whole side right here. Front. Back. Okay, I think and here's the deal. I'm not gonna keep going over this because I think you can go over this yourself, but I would definitely keep going over this until you have it memorized. When you have it memorized and you can understand what I'm saying much more quickly, it'll be much easier for me to teach you and for anybody to teach you and for you to actually start learning on your own as well. So here's the bow before I let you go for the day. So what is this part right up here? The tip. This part right here, what's this? And yours might be wood like mine, it might be plastic, it might be a compilation of both, but it's all called the stick. And the part we're never gonna touch, the one part really on the whole instrument, we're not gonna touch with our hands. It's horsehair, so it's the hair. Okay, right here. Again, you might find a couple other words from other books, but this is the winding, and everybody will understand what you say if you say the word winding. And everybody refers to this as the rivet. I can't believe I'm doing that. I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, so it's a frog. And then remember, I have an eye. A lot of beginning instrument bows do not have an eye, but if you have an eye, it helps remember where to put the posture of your pinky. That's not for this lesson anyways, okay? And this, I'm gonna tighten the bow. You're not gonna tighten it yet because you don't know how much to tighten it yet. But I can tighten and loosen the hair of the bow with this. Again, it's called the screw. Or they have another word, the adjusting screw. But if you just say screw, people will understand you completely. Oh, I almost forgot to teach you. They also refer to the silver part as the ferrule. And some people, it's an important word to know if you learn how to use a beginning bow grip, bow hold. So again, I forgot to teach this one because I don't normally teach it at the beginning level, but this is called the ferrule. And I'll put that in there just so you can see how it's spelled. Okay, again, if I forgot something or if you have questions, feel free to let me know. Yeah, I'm excited to start showing you new content every week. I'm gonna start posting on the same day, same time. So come back if you wanna learn some more. Thanks.